This is Listen After Watching,
a podcast where we recap and discuss the most mind-bending, twisty, and thought-provoking TV shows and movies out there. I'm Adrian.
and I'm Alicia. Let's dive in.
Y'all, welcome back. Welcome home to Listen After Watching. We are so excited to be back. It's been a long time.
Yeah, baby! We definitely disappeared off the face of the earth after saying we were going to do many things.
We finished White Lotus, and we have to be honest, we were totally, just gassed from it.
Yeah, when you first start a podcast, you shouldn't do two simultaneous shows. I think that's a good recommendation. And then we promised you guys we were going to do Black Mirror. We didn't do that. And then we promised you guys we were going to do, I think, more about Severance. We were going to do like a rewatch and come back. And we didn't do that. But we are back today with a new movie from the Philippou brothers called Bring Her Back. It's a horror film that we're excited to talk about. You can just ignore all the things we said we were going to do.
We are not men of our word, that is for sure, and I'm so sorry about that. But I'm really excited to talk about this because we haven't really talked about horror yet, and horror is probably one of my, if not my favorite genre of movies to watch. So I'm super pumped to talk about this one.
Yeah, we love horror. We're hoping the plan for the future, guys, and don't hold us to this, obviously, is to do some more movies and a lot more horror films. We have some stuff planned for the rest of the year. So, yeah, I'm excited to do some movies where it's a one and done and you're not doing it for 10 weeks. That'll be cool.
Agreed. Yes. This will be a fun little reunion with you all. So if you haven't watched it, don't worry. We're you can skip this one and come to the next one. It's fine. And horror is not for everybody, and I understand that. So we'll have some other fun little things to do, not just horror.
Yeah, but also we are going to run things a little bit differently today. We're going to basically catch up with you guys and let you in on what's been going on in our lives. And then we're actually going to give a review of the film without any spoilers for all the folks that haven't watched Bring Her Back yet, but maybe are thinking about it. And then we will give you a very obvious spoiler alert, and then we'll jump into kind of dissecting the film a little bit more. So there's still stuff to listen to here for everyone, I think.
Yeah. So if you're interested in us, I mean, what's new with us? There actually is really big news with Adrian. I don't want to say, but maybe you want to say.
God. I guess I will tell the world. I got engaged.
Oh my God. It's
You
so exciting.
Totally cut out when you screamed that. And I'm raising the roof.
Insert scream.
Insert raising roof.
Imagine us raising the roof. So exciting.
Big news. And that's part of the reason why we've just been totally out of it. We've just had a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I got engaged to my partner, Abby, maybe a month ago. And we're super happy, very excited. That's been really fun. And
when's the wedding?
Everyone wants to know. We don't even know yet.
Hottest question, the hottest topic out there. I asked last night when we hung out, and still no answer. But
next year.
I'm just joking about it. You guys take your time, figure out when you want to get married, whenever. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. I mean, what's the difference?
No rush.
It's all the same. But yeah, probably next year we'll get married. Yeah, that's the biggest news in my world. I'm sure there's other things. What's been going on with you, Leash?
Well, I'll tell you, not much. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been too much going on, just normal stuff. Work, gardening. We've done a lot of fun stuff in the yard this year. It is blazing hot outside, so I haven't been doing that as much of it the past couple weeks, but
yeah.
Yeah, finding a lot of joy in just puttering around in the yard. That's always fun.
I love that.
And also, I mean, I can't not talk about Love Island, which is my obsession right now.
I was just about to say, I almost forgot the most important thing that's been going on with us, which is the stuff we've been watching.
True.
Man, we've had a lot come out since the last time we were on. We watched a whole season of Survivor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were posting a bit about that on Instagram, and I just like never posted once the finale happened. I was like, well, people don't know what we think about the winner, but very happy with the winner of this season. No spoilers in case anybody is, I don't know, not seen it. But now we're on to Love Island, a new reality show, arguably much trashier. Not arguably. I mean, objectively much trashier.
Yeah. It's horrible, but we can't look away. And yes, I'm watching it too. It's the only thing I have to talk about with anyone. And
I know. So last night we got together, we had a little game night with Adrienne and Abby and a couple friends. And I knew that Adrienne and Abby were watching it. Me and Matt have been watching it. So like I started talking about like, oh, are you guys caught up? Whatever. And then we found out that your friends have also been watching it. And it was like, okay, now let's throw down. We're going to talk about Love Island now and what everybody thinks. Who do you like? Who do you not like?
yeah, I love when someone's caught up and just at the same place as you and you're starting from the same, like, okay, you get me. You get me. You know what I know on every level, spiritual, emotional.
We're in the same spiritual place with Love Island. And it's a lot. It's a big commitment because it's on every night except Wednesday and Saturday. So
they're so long.
They're so long.
The episodes
but you
are
know
long.
what? At least you have plans like every night, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is nice to just have background trash TV to put on.
Exactly.
I also have just started I was about to say Queer Love on the Spectrum. Queer
We're waiting for that.
Ultimatum Queer Love.
Yeah.
More trash TV. So far, it's not been any better than Love Island, I have to say.
Yeah,
But
I think I watched the first episode of that actually like a couple days ago, and I'm never impressed with the couples on there. I mean, they're so young also. It's like, you know, they're all stupid at this point. But yeah. I think what's her name, AJ or whoever, is like flirting with everybody and having the best time of her life. So I find that really funny. But yeah, I'm sure I'll watch the rest at some point. Speaking of, there's a lot of reality documentary stuff. Also, the Dallas Cowboys season 2, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I forget what the actual title is.
America's Sweethearts, I think.
Yes, America's Sweethearts. I started watching that. That's always fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one. We binged that. We really liked season 1 of that series. This season, I think, for me, wasn't as good. But it's just an interesting world that we get to see inside of. So you got to watch.
So bizarre. I could never do that. And they wouldn't let me. You know, that's the most important part.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about them making you do that.
Oh, please don't make me. I know I'm so hot, skinny, and voluptuous and have a great personality, and I'm like a doctor or whatever else they do for their main careers while they're a cheerleader.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is kind of spoiler, not really. This season, a lot of it is about, or they talk a lot about the issue with their pay, like not being paid enough. So that's kind of a big story point of this season. It's fine. I would say, you know, catch up on your Love Island first. That's priority 1. Everyone out there.
Really important. That's really important. But honestly, I'm waiting for the next season of UK because UK is just so much more fun. There's so much more
better.
like, I don't know. People are talking about Love Island USA this season being played like Survivor. Like everyone's trying to get to the end and they're trying to be strategic and they're not trying to like actually just have fun and like meet new people and, you know, drama will ensue from that alone. So I'm waiting for
Yeah.
UK where the vibes are just much better.
I agree. UK is so much better. I'm trying to think of all their little like quippy things they say. I can't think of any.
I don't know.
I worked outside today. My head is like empty right now, so it's perfect time to talk a lot.
Amazing.
Anyway, we have a lot to get to, so we should probably jump into what we thought of Bring Her Back and give you a little review of the film. If you haven't watched it, that's okay. We're not gonna give any spoilers. We're just gonna talk about what we thought about the film. We think you should give it a watch. I think it's still in theaters right now, but I think if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be streaming on Apple TV Plus at some point soon. So. Okay. What did you think of it, Leash? We went and saw it in the theaters together, so that was fun.
We did. That was really fun. Overall, I'd say above average horror film for me. Mm-hmm. I think the Philippou brothers do a great job. I loved Talk to Me. It's probably one of my favorite like modern horror movies, and that's like really hard to do because horror movies don't get a great budget a lot of the time, and they don't often get great directors, and I want something that's like really scary and not like campy most of the time if I'm watching horror. And this just like really fits into that box for me of like it's scary, it's like a little supernatural like Talk to Me is, and it is also disturbing in ways that we will talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked this movie. I think the Philippou brothers have been, if you're not familiar with them, obviously they did Talk to Me, which came out I think in 2023, a couple years ago, which we loved. We loved that movie, which was why we were really excited for Bring Her Back. But these guys have been like grew up making like movies together like as kids, and then like had a pretty successful YouTube channel making movies and stuff for that. So it's really cool to see them like transition from like this is our hobby to we're producing feature-length films that are, getting international releases. Really cool. And I can see why. Like they're obviously very talented. They have a great like knack for horror, I think. I love like how emotional their movies are. I love how they don't tie up every little detail in a bow for the audience, which I think happens a lot in horror and makes it like stupid.
Right. Yeah.
There's still some mystery when you're done watching, and it makes you like kind of wonder about certain parts. But yeah, I would highly recommend, if you're a horror fan, I highly recommend giving this a watch. It's not, there are not a lot of jump scares. There is a little bit of body horror. If you're not into gore, there's probably a few scenes you'd want to look away. One in particular, which was really hard to watch, I think for both of us. But it's pretty quick. It's nothing like Substance, like in terms of body horror or anything. But I didn't leave the theater feeling scared. I didn't go home and feel scared. It's kind of just like the experience while you're there. So it's not one of these that's probably going to linger with you if you're like on the fence about horror.
That's a good point. Yes. There's not a ghost that's going to show up in your room in the dark in the middle of the night, like some horror movies that might linger in your mind.
Promise that. Yeah. So yeah, I recommend it. What would you give this movie out of 10, Leash?
Oh, I would probably give it like 7.8.
Wow.
7.8. Yeah, something like that. Like definitely above a 7. I don't know if it would quite gets to an 8 for me. Because I feel like an 8 for me, 8, 9, 10 are like ones that I would want to rewatch. And I don't know if I need to rewatch this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a strong 7 out of 10 for me. I agree with you. Like, I don't know if I'll need to rewatch it. It's not going on like my all-time faves list. But for like regular horror that's being released, like a great movie and a watch for anyone who loves horror.
Agreed. And I feel like it didn't get a whole lot of press. Like I didn't hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
So it kind of is like a sleeper hit a little bit. Like it wasn't overhyped or anything.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't even looked at like the ratings for it yet since we watched it.
I will say this might change, but it's been out long enough. I think it's probably sticking to this. It's got, if this influences you at all, it's got an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty dang good.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Especially for horror. It's just a tough genre.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Well, hopefully you go give it a watch if you haven't watched it yet. And this, if you haven't watched it yet, this is probably your time to pause and come back.
Indeed, because we're going to talk about the movie, the plot, all of the juicy details, and this is your spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched it and you're into this sort of thing, it sounds interesting so far, please go give it a listen and come back and listen to the rest of this with us. I'm really excited to talk about some of these, like you said, like the ways that they don't spell everything out for you in this movie. I think it leaves a lot of room for discussion.
Yeah, and I totally forgot to mention earlier that Sally Hawkins, who plays the main character in this movie, is great. I really like her. She does a great job in this. She starred in The Shape of Water. She was Willy's mom in Willy Wonka. She's been in the Paddington movies. Just a really great actor. And this film is also Australian. The Philippou brothers are Australian. So really cool to see her in this film and an Australian cast. Pretty fun.
True.
I won't try to do an accent this time.
Please don't. Please.
Except Rise Up Lights. I can't even say it without an accent. Rise Up Lights. Rise Up Lights.
I know. I'm trying to say it like.
I'm trying to say
Rise Up Lights. This is also
podcast.
a plug. This is a plug for the Handsome podcast. If you don't listen to that, it's one of our favorites.
Yeah, Fortune Feimster, Tig Notaro, Mae Martin, give that podcast a listen for sure.
If you're not sold on that, I mean, that's what sold me.
All right, so do you want to give us a synopsis so that everyone can remember what we're talking about, including me?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, so in Bring Her Back, 17-year-old Andy and his blind half-sister Piper are left reeling after their father dies in a tragic accident. Piper is placed in foster care, and Andy convinces Laura, a seemingly kind woman grieving her daughter Kathy, to take them both in. At first, Laura seems nurturing, but she soon isolates Andy and becomes disturbingly fixated on Piper. Meanwhile, their foster brother Oliver begins behaving violently, speaking in strange voices and suffering seizures as he becomes possessed. Wow. Andy uncovers the truth. Laura is performing an occult ritual to resurrect Kathy, using Oliver as a vessel and planning to drown Piper in a storm to complete the spell. With a social worker's help, or not help, Andy tries to stop her, but Laura kills them both. Piper narrowly escapes, the demon leaves Oliver, and police find Laura cradling her daughter's corpse. Wow, that lot just happened right there.
Wowza. It's so hard to give a synopsis.
It sounds so crazy. So much happens in this movie, but the way that it plays out in the beginning, especially with just like the dynamic between Laura and Andy and Piper and like the, manipulation and like gaslighting and all of this crazy stuff that happens, it feels like such a build to what is a crazy, crazy ending.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the dynamic between Andy and Piper and like how close they are.
Yeah.
Which gets kind of tested throughout the movie. But yeah, Laura, oh my gosh. It's really complicated because
so
Laura is so evil. She's so bad. Like, she's doing all of these horrible things. Basically manipulating them both, but really being mean to Andy and like doting on Piper. But you
Yeah.
kind of like, the reason she's doing it is because her daughter died. So it's like, yeah, I can understand why but I don't know. You hate her,
I know.
but you kind of also understand.
You have empathy for, yeah. I know. Yeah. I think they were, especially at the end, like trying to make Laura seem like trying to make you feel empathy for her. But at the end of the day, she was just crazy lady. I mean, the things she did were wild.
Yeah, after she like plows through the social worker and Andy with her car, I think it was done for her. We couldn't forget
Also,
that.
when she kidnapped the child who is
Oh my
Oliver, who's
God.
actually Connor.
Yeah. Connor Bird.
Connor.
Yeah, but I think I put a note here. Piper being blind, the character of Piper being blind, added some really unique moments to the movie. I think it made it a lot more interesting. Like if this was just like a like regular sighted person, like so many parts of the movie wouldn't have happened or made sense, or
Right.
like Laura wouldn't have been able to manipulate them in the same way.
Right. Yes. Also, Laura's daughter who died was blind too.
Right.
So, I
Yep.
mean, yeah, it was really interesting. Added a lot of, I don't know, just like it was tragic. But in the beginning, the very beginning of the movie, their dad dies because he slips and falls in the shower. As far as we know, that's what happened to him. Hits his head, and they find him dead. And Piper doesn't know what's going on, and Andy is like too shocked to even say that their dad is dead. And she has to like feel around and understand what happened through that. And then one of the first ways that I think Laura manipulates Piper, I don't know if she even means to do this for any reason, like in the future. I think she's just weird like this. But she, when they meet Oliver, the foster brother, she asks like what he looks like or something. And she's like, oh, he's got curly red hair. And she like winks at Andy as like isn't it funny that we're lying to your sister? I'm like, what the fuck? That's so weird. I would be like, that's a red flag. Like, why are you lying about that?
Yeah, that was definitely really weird. And then we find out that she's describing her nephew who has curly red hair. Suspicious. But yeah, Piper finding her dad, obviously off the bat, just like a tough scene in the beginning of the movie. And then what are some other parts where her sightedness kind of plays a part? When Laura goes and punches her in the face when she's sleeping in bed. And before she does that, she sprays herself with Andy's body spray. Yes. What a psycho.
She is psychotic. I didn't know what she was about to do. In that scene, she's like, so she goes, sprays herself with the body spray. She like stands over Piper in her bed and like really still for a second. And I'm like, what is she even about to do? And then just like real quick, fist up, bam, like bops her right on the head and runs.
I know, poor Piper. And then of course blames it on Andy. And then Piper says, "Oh, I smelled you."
Yeah. So that, and then there's another scene near the end. There are a couple of scenes. So like once Andy has been hit with the car, and Laura drags him into the bathroom, I think to hide him from sight out of the driveway. And Piper goes into the bathroom to like hide from Laura at one point, and she finds him on the floor there. And it takes her a minute, but man, this girl's been through a lot in bathrooms, so I'm sorry about that.
Poor girl. Ugh. Other disturbing things that Laura does. Okay, the weirdest one to me was watching her pull her little panties down and pee into a thing and then pour it on Andy.
Well, her panties, her briefs.
Her panty.
Pulls down her panty. Yes, that was extremely weird. I was like, this is going beyond just trying to get rid of Andy at this point. You're just like, you're spitting in his face. I mean, it's worse than spitting in his face. You're peeing on his pants.
I just feel like she didn't need to do all of that. She didn't need to do all that. No,
she didn't. It's very weird. And she also, like, they don't really, it's not like as clear that this is happening, but you can tell, you know, once she like picks up his little blender bottle thing to see that he's drank like his creatine, because he's drinking creatine, he's pumping iron, okay, in his bedroom. And she obviously had like put something in the creatine, because when the social worker comes later, she's like dumping the creatine down the sink and like washing it down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't really catch that part.
Yeah, well, I was like, why is he drooling so damn much too?
I was asking myself, why is he suddenly drooling in this house?
You know, when you get someone's piss poured on your lap, you drool all night long.
Yeah, that's a well-known fact.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, she drugged him to keep him asleep, and so she could put her pee on him, which is so normal.
Yeah, totally normal. Just a thing you do. Can we talk about how creepy the little Oliver kid is?
Yes, we can.
Oh.
I'm so interested as to why Andy and Piper would not have like called Wendy earlier about some of the things that were going on. Like, for example, they go to their dad's funeral with Laura, and she just locks Oliver in his room all day.
Yeah.
All day. They don't take him? Like, what? You're leaving this kid? He's not old enough to be alone all day, in my opinion. I don't know how old he actually is supposed to be. But I was like, I would have called someone up and been like, hello, yeah, she just left this kid. Not only left him at home, but locked him in his room so he couldn't even go to the bathroom or eat or anything.
I know. That was disturbing. I think Andy and Piper, though, were just like so desperate and trying to make it through. I mean, Andy was going to try to adopt Piper and move out in like 1 month. So I'm sure they were both like, okay, we just need to make it through this 1 month with this lady. I don't think Piper was aware of how crazy things were, but Andy definitely was. I don't know. But yeah, this Oliver kid is so creepy. This little actor did a really good job, I think.
Oh yeah, he was creepy as hell. Yeah, so when they first get there, remember, he's like, I think he's outside or something, or maybe he's inside. But then they accidentally let the cat out, and she's like, "Don't let the cat out, by the way." And they're like, "Oops, haha." And then he's outside, like, trying to kill the cat and eat it.
Yeah, that's how they
Thank
first
God
meet
the
him.
cat lived. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a red flag to you right away.
Oh my God. Okay, so maybe we should talk about, this is a good time to talk about the tapes and like this whole ritual that Laura thinks she's performing to bring her daughter Kathy back. So one of the things that I think was kind of cool about the movie is that we don't learn about a lot about the tapes. We see little parts of them, and Laura watching them, but we don't know where they came from. We don't know if like she was part of a cult at some point, and like now she's like getting back with the gang. I don't know.
I think the movie opens with like a clip from the tape.
Yeah, honestly, the scariest part of the movie
it was
are the tapes.
It was very scary. Yeah, it's like you know, Blair Witch found footage style, which I also love that kind of movie. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I really loved the elements of like these tapes that she's watching. But yeah, you don't find out anything about them. And you know, there is a part where they do kind of spell out a little bit of what's going to happen to you because they have to. Otherwise, you'd be like, what the frick is going on?
Yeah.
So she's watching the tapes, and they're like, there's subtitles on screen to tell you like, or titles to tell you like, these are the steps of the ritual, like eat the, you know, consume the flesh or whatever, and like blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And it's like, okay, so that's what she's gonna do. But otherwise, you would be totally lost.
Yeah, she's like watching and taking notes.
Right. Yeah. So okay, let's try and remember the steps of the ritual. Okay. So
Oh God.
she.
Okay.
So first
Kill
of
your
all, I
daughter.
don't know how you get a little kill your daughter. So I don't know how you get a little demon into this kid, but you do that first. Okay.
Yeah. Put a little demon
the
in
general
him.
way. The
Yeah.
general way that we all know how to do. And then you have to make a circle like with white paint.
Yes, I
around.
wanted to talk about this aspect of the ritual, which is you're kind of like creating a zone for the demon to live in with like that white, I don't know if it was paint or salt or what it was, but
Something.
yeah, if
Yep.
the demon or the possessed person crosses that line, the demon like starts to die,
Yep. And which we see.
which we see is important in the movie, kind of.
Yeah.
But okay, what's the next step?
I think the next one was, I don't know why she has to wait so long for like this kid to, like this kid is starving for flesh, first of all, because it's a demon. I
think-
this
I
kid
think-
is starving.
I think maybe she was waiting for the rain.
To drown her.
I think because remember when she's painting the line on the pool, I think that was like, oh, must
Yes.
fill to here with rainwater. I don't know why she couldn't use the hose, but she's like, I gotta have enough room to drown.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. Or I thought maybe she was just like trying to get Andy out of the picture first before anything happened. But
Maybe it wasn't totally clear like why she was doing some of these things and waiting for Oliver to start eating the counter.
yeah, she waited for a while, maybe for rain. And
So-
then
Was it your take that Oliver had to eat part of Kathy?
yeah,
Okay.
that was in
So
the tapes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why Kathy had to be frozen.
Yes, Kathy's in a deep freezer.
Which that part was
and-
crazy too.
I know. And this kid who obviously has like teeth of steel, evidently, is able to just bite into a frozen body.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, he
yeah,
doesn't care about his own pain, so
This is true.
obviously.
So he eats, and then I guess shortly thereafter, the new vessel for the deceased person has to die in front of the demon-possessed person, it seems.
In the same
then-
way that
in
the
the same way.
original person died.
That's right. Which explains why the pool is empty. I mean, why would you keep it filled? Why would you even try and fill it after that point? But yeah, so Kathy had drowned. And
Yeah, can we also just talk about why anyone has a pool without like a fence around it or something if you have a blind daughter
oh my God, I know, right?
who apparently can't swim? This just sounds like a horrible idea.
I'd at least not have a deep end. I mean,
Right.
you just keep it
walk
all
around
like a
in
kiddie
it.
pool. Yeah.
That just seemed really stupid. But look
Right?
what happens. People
Yeah,
die
exactly.
and have to be
exactly.
resurrected. Okay,
Oh,
so can we talk about though what was up with the hair, the locks of hair?
This is unexplained still to me. I don't know why this happened, but when they went to, yeah, why don't you explain what happened? Do you remember?
Okay, so there's a scene where Laura takes the kids to their dad's funeral. And it's a really creepy scene. Like the dad's in the casket, like an open casket. And also in this scene, Laura is like forcing Andy to kiss his dad. I don't know why that was so important either, or if she was just like trying to manipulate him. But she's like, kiss him. And then he kisses him, and then she's like, on the lips.
Okay,
And I'm
creep.
like, no. But also, while she's at the funeral, she like takes a snip of Andy's dad's hair for the ritual, and then later feeds it to Oliver. Right?
Yes, I just had a thought.
What?
Dangerous, I know. So there is a part where, she feeds it to Oliver, which yum yum, tastes so good. He gulped it right down.
He probably liked it.
But then later, probably, I mean, he's starving. Later, Andy is taking a shower and he sees what he thinks is his dad
Oh yes.
outside the shower, but isn't it actually Oliver?
Yeah. Okay.
Who's-
I'm remembering now. Oliver, if he eats a part of someone, can mimic that person.
Wait, where did you get that from?
I think I read that on Reddit, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh.
Like after he bites Laura, remember he like does Laura's voice?
Oh, yes. Yeah, because he's
So-
called. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think it's like when if this demon gets a taste of a person, it can like mimic them.
That is so crazy. Okay, now it makes sense. The hair makes sense.
Yeah, I totally forgot that. Yeah, that's like
Whoa.
one of those things that like while you're watching, you wouldn't even be thinking. I was just like, oh, this is like a demon, so he can do anyone's voice. He's just like,
Right. That's what I would think. Yeah.
but yeah, Andy like thinks he's hallucinating his dad when he's in their weird outdoor bathroom. I was confused about the layout of this house also.
True.
But yeah, he's like freaked out about the shower now because like he found his dad dead in the shower, so rightfully so.
Right. And he has trauma from his dad abusing him, like in the bathroom, right?
Oh, I don't know if it was in the I think he might have mentioned that. Yeah.
I think
And that
he
was-
mentions like steam, like being in steam and stuff. I think.
Okay. I don't remember. That is a whole nother layer to this story though, which is so complicated.
Sure.
So Andy and Piper are half siblings or step siblings, right? Step siblings.
Yeah, one of those. I don't know which, but yeah.
It seems like, yeah, all the parents are dead. But Piper didn't know that Andy's dad would like hit him and abuse him. And he had kind of kept that from her. And so, yeah, there's that scene where Laura and Andy and Piper get drunk together, which was a crazy scene. I was very uncomfortable waiting to see what was going to happen. But they kind of like have a heart to heart, and he shares all of this.
Right, which was a mistake.
Yeah, a mistake.
That's your enemy.
There is a cute like part of the movie though that with Andy and Piper and their relationship when they're like signaling that they want the truth or are telling the truth, they'll say grapefruit.
Yes.
Which I thought was
True.
a cute little add-in for the movie and like something they could call back to throughout.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something that Andy wasn't truthful with Piper about. And yeah, just a lot of like emotional layers, like we said, with this movie. Like it's kind of a drama, it's kind of a horror. Like you're feeling all of these feelings for each character and their like unique journey in this.
Yeah. True.
Oh, I wanted to bring something else up. I think it's in the scene where they're getting drunk together. It might be in a different scene though. I think Laura basically confesses to killing Andy's dad. I know you said you didn't catch this.
That's crazy. No, I didn't.
I think she
Do you
kind of
remember
like
what she said?
she throws this line in that's like, it's kind of like when someone's like saying something like, oh, and why would I do that to like pick you out and then kill your dad so that I could do all of this? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
throwing it in like it's not anything, but they're telling you exactly what they did.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
think she
okay.
has,
Yeah, I see.
I think she has a line like that, which makes sense because she needed a blind girl to put Kathy's like soul back into. Like, what are the odds that you're just like gonna like
Right.
all the parents of this blind girl are gonna die? Like,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And it doesn't seem like beyond, what she's capable of because she already abducted this kid, Connor Bird,
right.
and is putting a
And
demon in him.
she already done put it in them. And we know that she used to work for like social services. And so she probably
Right.
has like files on all these families and stuff, like everything that's
Totally, yeah.
happened to them in the past. And that might be why like she knew about Andy and who knows.
Right.
But
Yep.
I think she like zeroed in on this girl, and maybe it was like one of these like rec centers or something, where they're
Right.
like,
There are other blind children.
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a hunting ground for
Right.
her.
Oh, she's twisted.
Twisted. Torst. Anyway,
Yeah. I didn't catch that, but that's probably what they were trying to, tell us. Is that
insinuate.
she's been working on this for a while. It's not by chance.
She bad lady.
She bad lady. Bad lady. Yeah, there's a lot of with the Philippou brothers movies. They're really heavy. Like there's there are themes of death and grieving in Talk to Me and in Bring Her Back, which is probably, I mean, if you hadn't picked up on this by now, it's pretty triggering. If you have experienced that, probably would be really hard to watch. But I think they just obviously have a fascination with this type of subject. Like both the films are like similarly paced too, I would say. Like they both open with a pretty gruesome death, and then people are grieving and looking for some kind of outlet for their grief or like a connection to the person that they lost, and that's why they go to these lengths, and that's why they are pulled into this like crazy occult stuff. And I find it just such an interesting way to do horror.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what's a stronger drive for like as a human than like the people you love dying, like and there's nothing scarier than that also.
Wow, that's so true, Age. That's so true.
I will be really interested to see, so this is their second feature-length film. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do for the third, if it will like follow the same sort of themes that we've seen.
Yeah, I would guess it would. I don't know.
At some point, I'm sure they'll kind of diverge from that, but I don't know. It seems to be working.
It does. Yeah. I'll say I know we're not doing a review of Talk to Me, but I loved it so much. And I feel like that movie really made me like, I could watch a Talk to Me too. Like if there was a second one, I would be totally here for it. Bring Her Back too? No, leave her there.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not.
Yeah. What would you give Talk to Me out of 10? I think I would give it like a
God, probably an 8. 8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so
so too.
good.
I think we came out of that movie and it was just like, that was a great horror movie. And that's so
It really
rare
was.
with horror movies. We love them, but
know.
so many of them are horrible, just bad.
Yeah, it's so true. I did want to mention one thing that I found when I was looking online for stuff that people were
Yes.
saying about the movie. Going back to the tapes that Laura was watching. So I also, in like some synopses that I was reading, they talk about Oliver being possessed by this demon called Tari, Tari.
Yeah.
And I was like, they didn't say anything about that in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think they
remember
mentioned
hearing that name.
Tari in the movie.
No. So I was like, where did this come from? How do people know this? And then I saw a Reddit thread where someone was talking about like, oh, during some part in the movie, like you can see a URL on the screen, I think when she's maybe watching the tapes or like something like that. Kind
Okay.
of Easter egg. And so they went to the website. It's like in Russian. It's like russianwords.net. And then
Don't type
It's
that
like-
in. It's not that.
it's not that. I went to this website and I hope that I don't get a virus, but it
Or a
It was
demon.
like- or a demon, possessed by a demon, please. It was like all of these tapes that you could purchase, quote unquote, like a
Like
marketplace
VHS
for them.
tapes?
Yeah, I think so. And then if you
Interesting.
clicked on one, there are like screenshots that you can scroll through and like a little trailer of sorts that you could watch. And there was one for this these tapes that they're watching in the movie, and it was called on the website the Tari Resurrection tape. So
Ooh. I
I
love
think that's
that.
where they probably got it from. Yeah, I know, right?
I love stuff
It's
like
so
that.
crazy.
It's giving The Ring.
Yes. Oh my gosh, let me tell you a story about The Ring really quick.
Okay.
When we had it on DVD, I think. This was also like one of those movies that we were kids when it came out.
Yeah.
And I watched it so many times.
So good.
I'm telling you, I've loved horror, okay?
Okay, we believe you.
But
believe women.
I was watching it one time with our cousin Eileen, and I don't know why she agreed to watch it because she is deathly afraid of any. If you even say the word ghost, she's like, I'm out. She's
Yeah.
already left the building.
She is a ghost.
But I guess at this stage, she was maybe peer pressured or less afraid of this type of thing. But we put the DVD on, and there was like a button on, like another Easter egg type of thing. There was a button on the menu screen where you could like, I don't think it said anything, but like if you hit it, it would play the tape from The
yeah.
Ring.
Yeah.
And I remember when we turned it on, we started watching it, and we were like, oh, we got freaked out, of course, because we were kids. And so we were like, let's turn it off. And we were trying to like hit pause or stop or like return and stuff. And it doesn't respond. It like wouldn't respond to any buttons.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
And I was like, genius. But I was afraid. I was so
That's
deathly afraid.
terrifying.
I think we ended up unplugging
Running
the DVD
away.
player because we were like, we couldn't stop it.
Oh
very
no. That's a great Easter egg. Oh, I love stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go check out this website. Maybe we can put it in the show notes.
All right, I'm
but
not liable for any
I-
viruses y'all get.
Any demons. I love stuff like that though, where like, and again, it's like something that's not explained or talked about or anything. So it's like,
Yes.
oh, my mind can wander and be like, what if they like created this movie around these real tapes? Like,
Right?
I don't know. It's just, yeah, bring it into the real world a little bit.
Yeah. I love that they didn't try and explain more about like the cult that was doing these weird resurrections that the tapes were filmed from. Like it just
Yeah.
my curiosity wants to know, but it would be a worse film for it if they told us.
I agree. I will say one thing I could probably do with a little less of in Philippou Brother movies, the two of them that I've seen, is the extreme body horror, like
Oh, yes, let's get
self-harm.
into that.
So, first of all, let's talk about Talk to Me, which also had some really tough scenes to watch. When the kid is banging his head, like breaking his skull open, like against, I think it's like against the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, head injuries are just really hard to watch in general. But that scene was just
That was
like,
awful. Awful.
oh,
Yeah.
so intense and like real, like visceral.
Yeah. Yeah. So in this movie, not very different. I mean, was the first scene that was like this the cantaloupe one, or is there another one? Was there another one before that? Trying
I
to
think
remember.
that was really the one that was tough to watch for me. I think that was the first hard watch.
Yep.
And I think there's like a couple head hit. I think like Andy hits his head too, which I don't.
yeah.
I don't like when people hit their head.
I know. Just like, oh, yeah.
You can feel it, you know?
Too soft, squishy. Yeah.
But yeah, the scene we're talking about, oh God, this was a tough one.
I know. I think I was watching through my fingers a little bit at this scene because it was like, oh, it's just so, it's too much. Like, so yeah, this is when Andy's cutting a melon for Oliver, who was locked in the room. Andy discovers he was locked in, and he like breaks open the door and lets him out because he's like, he's probably hungry. Like, why is he locked in here? And so he's like, hey, you hungry? Come on, let's get you something to eat. They go to the kitchen and he starts cutting a melon. And then in the weirdest way you could possibly give someone a piece of food, he puts it on the end of his knife and then gives it to him. And Oliver grabs the knife instead of grabbing the melon on the end, which that already I was like,
I know. I was cringing when he was cutting the melon because I was like, this ain't gonna be good.
I know. Yeah, you just knew something was not gonna go good. So yeah, he grabs the knife, and then I think Andy turns around to get something, a plate, or I don't know what he gets.
Something like that.
And then when he turns back around, the camera turns back onto Oliver. He is chewing on the knife, tall ways, in his mouth.
Yeah, tall
blade
ways.
up, and it is cutting his teeth. It's cutting his lip down the middle. It is just the worst thing you ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who would enjoy watching that, but I think it's kind of like their signature thing.
It's their thing. Yeah.
Yeah, which
It
we'll deal with it. But I was
Yeah.
like squinting my eyes. I was like, oh, I don't want to see that.
I know. Yeah.
And then there were some other parts that weren't as bad for me, like when Oliver's eating his own skin. I mean,
Yeah.
that part
Gross,
I can,
but
my
not
mind,
as bad.
Yeah, and my mind can be like, that's not real, really his skin. But
Right.
like the knife part, it's hard to be like, that's not real, you know?
I know. Yeah. And then was it right after the knife that he also chews on the counter? Or is that, that's later with this,
Yeah.
with his arm. I think he's like,
He gets so hungry that he's eating the counter and just like sitting there and he's like
a wooden
Like
counter.
chewing
Imagine like a butcher block type of thing.
I know. I'm like, how does he even have any teeth left after the knife thing? I don't know.
Right? Also, the weirdest thing after the knife thing, okay? So the knife thing happens. Andy's freaking out. Laura and Piper aren't home. He's like here alone with Oliver, responsible for him in a way. And so he grabs him after he gets the knife away from him to take him to the hospital, probably. And when he passes over that white line, he starts seizing to all Andy knows, like he's having a seizure and he's freaking out. And then Laura and Piper come home. Laura's like, let's get you inside, Ollie. And they go inside and they're like, oh, he'll be fine. I'm like, what? Y'all are not. This is about the sixth time you should have called Wendy by now, okay? You should have called this lady to come pick y'all up.
Wendy. Oh God. Yeah, that was crazy. I I don't know why they stayed there. I would have like taken Piper and like run into the woods
Oh yeah.
or something.
Also,
I don't know.
can we talk about the circles on the forehead?
Oh
The
yeah.
circles on the window to like calm him. Like, what is that about?
Yeah, that was like I guess that was from the tapes too that Laura learns like, oh, this is how you like center the demon or something. And so that's how like she like healed the demon inside him after bringing him back inside. Yeah,
So crazy.
crazy. Oh, what a movie. So many little details in
There's so
this
much.
that we could talk about. Should we talk about the end scene a little bit?
Yeah.
I was a little bit confused, I have to say, in like
Me
what
too.
was
I'm
happening
glad
in the
you
end
were
scene.
too.
So Laura has Piper. This is after Piper's like, "What's happening? What are you gonna do?" And Laura's like, "I'm gonna drown you in the pool, love."
Right. I'm just gonna
It's
tell you
like
exactly what's about to happen.
I'm tired of lying. I'm just gonna drown you in the pool. So she like
Perfect.
has Piper and takes her into the rain-filled pool, and extremely hungry Oliver is like coming up and like waiting and watching. And so Laura's plan is to drown Piper the same way her daughter died. So she starts drowning her and is like holding her down, and like Piper's fighting. And then Piper comes back up, and then you hear like a little kid voice, and it's like, "Mom?" And then that like kind of shakes Laura out of it, and she can't continue killing Piper. Did you take that as Piper saying "Mom"?
Yes, I did at the time. I was like, well, at first I was like, did it work? Is Kathy there now? And then
But
I was like, clearly not, because then Piper runs away. But then I was like, was she trying to trick her? Was she like trying to,
yeah, I
or
don't know.
was it Oliver? Because he just ate that whole damn kid.
Yeah. I think Redditors were like having the same discussion. It could have been Oliver because he was just eating on Kathy. It could have been Piper because Laura had said to Piper, "I just want to hear her call me mom again," or something. And maybe Piper was like trying to appeal to that. Or Piper was
Right.
just like saying mom because she was about to die,
Yeah.
calling out for her mom. The one thing was I knew it wasn't Kathy because in the tapes, the demon thing has to vomit the soul back into the body, and we didn't see that happen. You know,
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we didn't get to that step yet.
follow the steps, Leash. You watched the tapes.
It's a science, okay? Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah.
But then the other part that confused me, so Piper runs away somehow, blindly gets out of the pool and
Yeah.
runs away. And then Oliver's still hungry. Oliver starts chasing her. And then Oliver vomits up what seems to be the soul, like this black stuff that seems to be like Kathy's soul. Is that what you thought too?
Yeah, I thought that what happened was like the timing, like
Yeah, he ran out of
He
time.
was, yeah, they ran out of time. Like that's what should have been vomited
Yeah.
into
Oh, because
Piper?
because he ate Kathy. I
Yeah,
think maybe that was what like, oh, the soul's in me now. I don't know
think
because
so.
earlier in the movie she's like, I need to know that you're in there. You know?
in Oliver.
Yeah. She's like, how can I trust that you're in there when he's like being creepy? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We need to ask the brothers about this one.
Brothers, we have a question.
They're probably like, oh.
Just thought it was cool. No, I feel like they're quite thoughtful about the way that they
Yeah, they seem to know
write.
the entire Tari system.
Yeah, they know the Tari system. Obviously, we don't. Yeah,
We
I
don't.
think the way I interpreted it was, yeah, Oliver, like he ran out of time for the ritual they were trying to do. He vomited up, and then he was himself, and he
Yeah.
didn't have that weird distended belly anymore.
And we get a semi-happy ending in this movie with Piper escaping and Connor Bird, aka Oliver, being found
Yes, thank
in
God.
in really bad shape, but found.
Oh, just horrible. Yeah. I mean, it's very sad that that Andy died, obviously.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just like happens all of a sudden, and then like you just have to move on because other shit is happening right after that.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah,
was just awful.
Yeah, I know. I think someone had to die in the movie. I think he was the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
but-
It seemed like Laura was trying to keep things as under wraps and clean as possible.
Yeah.
But once she hit Wendy and Andy with her car, it was all over for her. I mean,
I
there
know.
was no coming back from
Okay.
that.
I was thinking about this too. I was like, okay, why would you keep trying after you've killed them? Like, even if you can get Kathy back, are you just gonna like peace out somewhere? Like,
Go to
how are
prison.
you going to live?
I know.
know?
She did not care about that. That is the grief driving her.
Yeah, we can't explain that part.
No.
Ooh, this was a doozy of a movie.
Quite. And I have to say, so nice to go see a movie in the theaters. Get out to the theaters like Nicole Kidman says to do, you guys. It was
Amen. Yeah, nice
Speaking
to go to the
of-
theaters. Yes.
great. We are going to go see another movie. Megan 2.0. Ever heard of her?
Okay. Talk about an emotional, deep, thoughtful, smart horror film.
Yes. Incredible film. Yeah, we saw the first Megan together in theaters, and it's only right that we see the second one. And I think we're also going to podcast about that. Quite a different vibe. If you're not into horror, you can still watch Megan, I promise you. You probably don't have to see the first one because they're so like silly, goofy.
Yeah.
You could just jump right in and probably appreciate it. But yeah, it'll be a fun departure from this one.
Yeah, Megan is very campy. I was cracking up at the first one in theaters, and no one else seemed to be laughing like in the theater. And I was like, "You guys, what? This has
I
to
know.
be. It has to be funny, right?" And I think the way they released Megan, they didn't make it clear that it was like
No.
totally hilarious, like
Yeah.
a robot.
They didn't market it appropriately.
It's
but it
not
kind
like-
of made it better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's why we're getting Megan too. But this one, it seems like they're leaning way into the funny factor, which I'm looking forward to.
Majorly. Yeah, me too. And I think besides Megan 2.0, we talked about doing, since there's not like a great series coming up that we can really like get into, I think we might do some fun like maybe tier lists or rankings or things like that. So if you have any ideas, let us know. Obviously we love horror, so we'd probably do like horror movie ranking, or we could do, creepy series ranking or whatever. We've got some ideas, but look forward to some one-off little silly, goofy
Just
episodes.
Some stuff for funsies, and you don't have to have watched anything to listen to them. So
That's true.
that'll be fun. And yeah, we're gonna keep up with what movies are coming out, and probably do some more movies this year. Freakier Friday, I'm looking forward to.
Oh, now that is mind-bending media, I tell you
That
what.
is mind-bending media. That will freak your freak on a Friday. I mean, Lilo
It's on the
making a
list.
comeback, that's mind-bending.
It's incredible, and
we
I
love
love
it.
I love that.
Amanda
Yeah.
Bynes next.
Amanda Bynes, when I follow her on TikTok and I like what she does. But
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Angel.
Yeah. She's
All
the
right,
man
y'all.
too.
We are. Wait, isn't there already one?
What? A second one?
I think there is. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, she's the man 3.
They
Okay.
can't. They can't ever recreate. She's the Man 3 coming
I
out
know.
2025. Oh man. Okay. Well, this was fun, y'all. We're already over an hour. We got to wrap this baby up. But we are back. We're back. We're in action. Bring her back. All of it.
Bring them back. Indeed. Indeed. Good times. Thanks, Sage.
Well, thanks, Leash. And thanks everyone who listened to this entire thing. Anyone who watched Bring Her Back. Yeah, stay tuned. We're probably not going to be putting stuff out every single week, but we're going to keep it as regular as possible. To all our true fans, thank you so much. We love you guys. Our friends, our 5 friends that listen. And we will talk to you soon.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.